Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and today I wanted to share a fun card that I made for a very close friend of mine for her birthday. It's going to feature the Kangaroo and Company stamp set and die. So I've been storing these, if you've watched me for a little bit, I've been storing my dies inside of my stamp set, and then I have a whole little clear envelope full of die cuts. I actually cut all of these out so I would have an idea in case I needed to see if the shape would fit or whatnot. So I did die cut all of these ahead of time. Now, one other thing I did do is I did a lot of the stamping ahead of time because I wanted to show you a couple different ways that you could do this card specifically. This would be a great Valentine's card, which is also the reason I'm sharing it with you ahead of time. But has the hearts, the groups of hearts, the groups of gifts, the flowers, envelope, has die cuts for almost all of these things. So it's very versatile. And then it has another die cut that might be a little bit confusing. So what I am using it for, and I will show you what I've done with it. I actually did die cut this ahead of time as well. But what I'm using this for is kind of a little, if you were to add like a little sentiment to your, what's a good, I'm trying to think of a good word to describe this. So if it was like a little pop out card, so that's what I do with mine. I actually stamped it and then it's going to pop up from what we're doing today. So if you can see that there, it's pretty small. It kind of looks like a shark fin. You could probably also use it if you wanted to as a little wrap for your flowers. So maybe you could cut this out with the In Good Taste DSP with one of the textured pieces. You could die cut that DSP and then put it under this and it would kind of look like a little bouquet. You could do the same thing with the hearts. So just for example, I'll pop one of these out. So you could die cut this and the hearts, and then you could make it so it was kind of like a little bouquet without stamping something if you didn't want to do it that way. So it could go either way, but I'll show you what I am using it for. Now I have already picked out my base, and my base, I'll put that in there so it doesn't get lost, is Garden Green, and this is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. So Garden Green is the base layer. And then I have a piece of, I believe it is called Forever Fern DSP. Let's see if I am mistaken. Forever Greenery. So close, yet so far. So Forever Greenery. I kind of thought this looks similar to eucalyptus. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. So what I did was I stamped all of these images, and I did them a couple different ways because I wanted to show you that you don't necessarily have to have real red or like a pinky pink heart, especially if you're doing this as something for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see. So I actually colored these in with the Stampin' blends. Now some of these may be a little bit crazier or a little bit lighter than what you originally thought, but this is the Flirty Flamingo Light and Dark, Poppy Parade, which I think is much nicer than red. The red is almost a little too deep for a heart color, so I thought the Poppy Parade made a great combination. Melon Mambo, and then Magenta Madness. And then what I did was I actually colored in the envelope with Bermuda Bay, and then I did the Poppy Parade. And then for the Kangaroo, for the Mama Kangaroo, I used Cinnamon Cider Light and Dark, plus I used some Flirty Flamingo for the nose, and then a little bit of Light and Dark Crumb Cake for the belly and inside the ear. And then for the Little Roo, which is a Joey, I believe, I used Light and Dark Crumb Cake and the Flirty Flamingo. So I did die cut all of these ahead of time. That way it wouldn't be too time consuming, because if I did all these at the same time. So what I'll do is I'm going to just put these on the side. I think I'm going to go with the Poppy Parade. So what I have an idea for, again, it's going to be another card that involves wobblers. So I have these pieces here. The rest of these I'm going to just go ahead and put into my little container of extras. So I'm going to move these over here. And then this is what we're using for our card. Okay, so we have our base card. So I scored this right before I started. And I have my layer. So I'm kind of just going to eyeball what I want to do with this, and then I will explain. So the cool part about this with the Mama Kangaroo is it actually does cut a little pouch. So the Joey will fit right into the pouch, which is pretty fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little mini glue dot on the ear, and then I'm going to put one right here just to kind of hold these in place. So I have those. One and 2. Okay, so I'm going to just slide the Joey back into the pouch. Make sure I like the positioning, and then just give it a press to hold it in place. So there's that. Now, one other thing I am going to do, this is going to have some significant dimension because I kind of want it to be a really fun card. I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of this bottommost heart and attach this to the envelope. So again, if this is something you're mailing, you're definitely going to need to not skimp on your postage. So I kind of want it to look like the hearts are exploding out of the envelope. Hopefully that carries through. And then what I was going to say is you could add the little tag here. It's your day. This one doesn't really have necessarily a happy birthday specifically sentiment. It does have it's your day and just for you, which I think could equally be a happy birthday. So I'm going to just put... What I'm going to do, because once again, you know, I can't leave well enough alone, I'm going to take my Poppy Parade Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to just trace around the edge of this just to kind of make it stand out a little bit against the green. So I'm just running my marker right along the edge, just like so. And I also want to thank you for joining me. I do apologize I didn't do a live video this evening, but we are going to be going away for the weekend, so... we are packing, so this is kind of the best I could fit in. So thank you for watching anyway. So we could say, I'm going to pop this right behind here because I think over here it almost kind of takes away from the heart. So I'm going to stick it up here like it will be a little note shooting out. So I'm going to do one more mini glue dot, and I am going to put it on the back here because we can kind of judge where we want to add it. And I hope you guys like the other couple videos I did this week featuring the snail mail bundle. Okay, so there's that. So this is all pretty well together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wobbler, and you only need one. Again, I did link to those where I got them on Amazon. And I'm going to pull out, I'm actually using the harder part because I was told if you use this part, it makes it wobble more. So I'm going to kind of stick this straight back here in the middle, just giving it a good press. And I do apologize for my nails. It has been a very rough week this week. My birthday was wonderful, don't get me wrong, but the rest of it has just been, it's been quite a week. Okay, so I'm going to take my leftover dimensionals. I don't have very many. This is the piece I was looking for the other day. I'm going to pop these up onto my Kangaroo Mama. And then I'm going to grab, and coincidentally, you can see I did color these in with the Stampin' Blends. One thing that I'm excited about is that my Stampin' Up! Order is supposed to come, and I believe the new basic white is in that. So I'm really excited to see the difference between that and the leftover Whisper white that I have. I'm just adding some dimensionals on the back. I think I want to put a little one, at least a little piece of something on the tail. So at least there's something back here. Might have to trim that. Yeah, I'm going to trim just a little bit off. All right, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to need to add to this is the inside. I'm going to need to add my Whisper white panel, which soon will be basic white. I think I need one more little one here because it's feeling a little lopsided. So let me pop this there. Just a little piece here. Okay, so I'm going to just put this down with some liquid glue. Okay, just like so. No, or not. Let's try this one. Maybe I should have used my, well, I'm going to have to start putting the caps on those, I think, because clearly my lack of crafting is making them sad. And I'm going to move to my third choice here. And I know probably some people might be thinking Stampin' Seal's their third choice, but I really do prefer the liquid glue because it gives you the maneuverability to fix it if you don't like how you laid something down. So very carefully, I'm going to pop this here. Okay, just like that. All right. And then I'm going to kind of just look where I want to put these before I put them. So if I put my kangaroo here, I don't want to cover the face too much, but what I think I might do is, this is the only thing that was giving me a hard time. If I put her down here, and let's say this one's here, it'll kind of jump back and forth. Okay, so I'm gonna take my backings off. I haven't seen a whole lot of ideas with this stamp set aside from stamping it directly onto white paper. So I haven't seen anything that was really kind of jumped out at me, and I really like coloring it with the blends. I think it looks really, really nice. So I'm just gonna gently put her down. I'm not pressing yet because I want to make sure it is where I want it to be. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'm gonna peel the backing off of my wobbler, and I just want to make sure that this part here is going to stay inside the borders of my card, I mean. Okay, so I'm going to give this a press. All right, so now I'm pretty satisfied with it. Okay. Okay, so I think this is pretty good where it is. The tail was a little wonky there. So there is our little wobbler, and they really make cards so much more fun and interactive, especially you'll have that depth from the card there. So I always like to, once I've put this down, just to kind of go around and make sure that it adheres. But otherwise, that is pretty much it. I think the last thing I'm going to do is just use my shimmer pen, and I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer to the hearts. The other thing you could do that would be really, really fun is if you wanted to use the crystal effects, but you want to make sure that you let that have time to dry, because that will give this a 3D dimension, and you actually will be able to get your hearts. Oops, I missed one. Let me do the one on the envelope too. There you go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm probably going to, I'm going to grab one more thing, because I want to make sure that I at least do a little something here. I'm going to take my grass. So this does come with a stamp that looks like grass, which is cute. So I'm going to just stamp, and I'm going to stick with the same thing and Garden Green. And I'm going to stamp grass across the bottom here. Just like that. This will just be for the inside. You could do something darker if you wanted to. Just like that. Oops. And if you wanted to also, you could add something else. Love you much, geez, love you much, just for you, something like that. But this is going to go on the inside, and then I'm going to add my little sentiment to it. So I'm going to just, or my handwritten note, I should say. I like to leave a lot of room, because if you watched my video the other day, you remember me saying that, well, it ends just in time. I just ran out of my Stampin' Seal. I like to write way more than I account for. Okay, so there you go. So if you would like to get any of these products today, you can find everything used here in my online store, except for the wobblers, and there is a link for those on my Amazon or my Facebook page to Amazon where I got these. So you can check over on my blog, which is rachthestamper.com, and you'll be able to find that there. If you have any questions about this or any of my other projects, feel free to either leave a comment here on YouTube, or you can send me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I would love to hear your comments, and if you really enjoyed it, make sure that you share it with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.